Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I'm very happy to have you here. I try to do these simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube, and two times in a row now I've been successful because it seemed the last couple months there was always some kind of interference. Today, I'm going to review Metatron's healing methods. I'm going to start by giving you a history. I was introduced to Archangel Metatron through one of my fellow parishioners at Rays of Healing Church. She had come in with a flyer for Metatron's healing methods from a gal who was going to come in from England, from London, England. Her name was Pippa Merivale. And even though the classes were very, very expensive, I felt immediately drawn to take the class. And one of the incidences that happened at the first class that I attended was that as the leader opened up the session, there was a gal sitting on the couch and she started heaving. She started making these deep breathing motions and kind of like rocking back and forth to the point where all of us just sat there absolutely frozen. And all I kept thinking is, I don't know what is happening, but I'm not going to allow it to frighten me. I'm not going to make this into an incident that is going to ruin the class for us. So I just shut my eyes and kept saying to myself, there is nothing stronger than white light. There is nothing stronger than white light. I presumed that what I was witnessing was either a entity that had entered into that gal, found out afterwards that that indeed was the case. She had lived with this entity for years and years and years. She had come from a war torn country, and I think that was the entire beginning for her. So, anyway, as the heaving progressed, I kept my eyes shut, never opened them, and just kept repeating the mantra, there is nothing stronger than white light. There is nothing stronger than white light. And as I finally opened my eyes, what I didn't know was that she had left the position on the couch and she came and stood right in front of me. She was about 8 inches away from my face, literally just seething, absolutely seething with every force in her body. Uh, Obviously, she didn't know what she was doing, but the entity certainly did. And so as I opened my eyes and I looked, all I did was stand there in complete possession of myself, in complete control of my sense of authority, and just kept repeating the mantra, there is nothing stronger than white light. And finally, somebody said, open a window. And as the person went to open the window, we heard a sound like whoosh, and we knew that it was gone. And the gal kind of wilted in front of us. She she had been in an altered state. She didn't know what had happened. And so she just became very uh, extremely tired and extremely just exhausted over this. So she decided at that moment in time that she was going to go home. And because home just happened to be right next door, it wasn't an issue where somebody had to leave and drive her. She could just walk out the door and walk into her home. So that was my introduction to the power of Metatron. And I took 3 classes total from Pippa Merivale, and she would come in and from England, and I think, the last class, she sent a substitute because her one of her own children had been in a car accident and needed a specific amount of attention. So she sent her own children to take care of she stayed with her child to take care of that incident and sent 2, healers over to teach us. The gal was terrific, and I have another, interesting story related to that, but I can share that with you at another time. Um, right now, all I'm going to do is tell you that as of for whatever reason, Pippa decided not to hold any more classes. There were a remaining 2 classes that she wanted to share, and with the teachings that she got from Archangel Metatron. And she wasn't going to bring any more to the United States. So our option was to fly to London to get the remaining 2 classes. And I thought about it and then thought, no, I'm not going to do this. I think that is uh, I knew I could have afforded to do it, but I chose not to. And because I became so enamored with Metatron's healing methods that what happened to me the second day of the class, the last class I attended with her, I came home from the class. It was 9 to 5. Walked in the door, was as was customary with me. I took a glass of wine, and all of a sudden, I had this piercing, cutting pain across the back of from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, and thought, "Oh my God, this is weird." But then I thought, well, I've been involved in energy healing all day. I didn't have any food. The next day, I thought I'll just come in, I'll do the same, but I'll have my glass of wine with my meal. So I was very careful to eat food before I took any wine. Same issue. Literally felt as if somebody took a knife across my back and was cutting me from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, and it hurt. So that was done on Wednesday night. On Thursday, when I walk into class, I look at the, instructor and I say, "Does Metatron not like wine?" And she started laughing, and she said, "Unfortunately, that's a casualty of Metatron's healing, is to do it to the fullest ability. You are going to have to give up wine." So I thought, well, so be it. If this is the price I pay, this is the price I pay. Shortly after I made up the commitment to give up wine, I received a number, maybe in the I'm going to say somewhere between 10 and 20 different healing methods, different type of motions, hand motions that I could do. And is because these hand motions addressed everything in your energy field, I recognized that I was granted a special dispensation on of healing, a special type of healing that was available to me because I was determined to literally follow Metatron's instructions, and one of those being give up wine. So I'm going to demonstrate to you, and this first set of healings is going to go to my intention is to send it to one of my clients who is currently in Germany. And I told her that I would start at 1:10, and so it's 1:11, and I'm intending to send this to her long distance. So I know she's ready and waiting for it. So the very first uh, portion that I'm going to work at, and I'll just work on one chakra, is the ears, nose, throat. It's the throat chakra, but specifically, she has a sinus infection. So I'm going to do the very first one, which is called chopping. And you can see my hands, which end up taking a life of their own. It's just like when I do this, I continue to work on the body, and I am sending this to her via just a mental image that I have of her in front of me. So this is called chopping. And all of this is done is in the energy field. And it does have, you just go up and down with all of these. Okay. The second one is slicing. And my hands go over on top of each other. And the amazing thing is, as I do this, the side of my hands become highly charged with particles that are being released from the person. And I can feel the entire sides of my hands. My right hand is a little more active than my left hand, of particles, charged particles that are coming from the sinus infection. And I'm just helping move it through and out of the individual, out of the person being healed. So this is slicing. Okay. The next one is called poking. And this is exactly what it is. I always feel like I'm poking bread, and that has risen, and I'm just going deep, 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 deep into uh, the layers of the subtle bodies. So I poke that and just continue to do this. Poking is not a method that I would use on anybody younger than 8. Feel that their bodies haven't matured enough to get this. Okay. The next one is called pulling, and you can pull up, you can pull sideways, you can pull horizontally. Pulling, and it doesn't matter which way you pull. Sometimes it just makes more sense to pull up. Sometimes it makes more sense to pull out, and sometimes up, sideways. So that's pulling. And usually in pulling, again, I also feel an incredibly large sensation coming through my fingertips and effectively getting out the uh, blockages that are caught, trapped in the energy field. The next one is called sweeping, and sweeping, I just do giant billowing motions as if I have a Genoa sail in front of me and just go and give wonderful, big, big, big motions like this to the person. And then I have scooping, and scooping are very tiny little motions that always remind me of a puppy dog in the dirt, and the way that they might give you a feeling of digging in the dirt and the joy that they feel when they do this. And that just, again, up and down and up and down. You can feel the sensation of what's being released in your fingertips. And that naturally evolves into weaving. And weaving is taking all the strands of energy and moving it into your hands, through your hands, and giving you the sense that you're just taking and removing everything from the energy field of the person. So I'm going to, uh, and then I close up by smoothing the auric field of the individual 3 times and sealing it with the sign of the infinity 3 times. So just really gives a very nice, very gentle closure. I'm going to immediately start, and I'll adjust this so you could see the heart. I'm going to start with the heart on the second client who's in the United States. And we will start with chopping. And people have told me that just by looking at these videos, they've gotten the same healing that they might have received had they been right on the table with me, because they are on my website, the ones that I did a number of years ago. So this is chopping. Okay. And this time I'm in the heart. And my intention is to just bring a very calming energy into the heart of this person. Slicing, and hopefully you can feel you'll get the same effects of this energy going through you just by watching us. Poking, and even though this is strong, most people feel the effects of poking if they feel nothing else. The other thing that happens when they get off the table, they're dizzy. Typically, they just kind of swoon a little bit. So anyway, but then I usually, when I do a full Reiki session, I will do this on every chakra. Pulling, sweeping, Scooping, little puppy dog motion. And I don't know why, but I always feel good after doing these methods because I feel my energy field is also clearing as I do this on someone. So that's scooping and then weaving and taking all the strands of energy. And I always ask the transformational flame of Saint Germain to come in, remove these strands of energy, take them to their next place of evolution, transform them into light. This is energy that no longer serves the person. And now, again, I'm going to smooth the auric field 3 times, and I'm going to seal with the sign of the infinity 3 times. And I generally use both hands. I know last time I used one, but I generally use both when I seal. Always, and I encapsulate I stand in the middle of the person and encapsulate both the head and the feet. So I make sure that the whole body is covered in sealing. I hope you've enjoyed it. It went a little bit longer than 20 minutes, but I'm trying very hard to stick to 20 minutes. So, very happy that you're here. And again, if you need a book on meditation, the best on the market is Own Your Power Day by Day. Uh, the one that I wrote with the guidance of spirit. And it was a 20-year endeavor from the time I first sat down to the time it was released to publication. So I'm very, very happy to have you here. Next month, what I've been guided to do is to do a speech on anger, but specifically releasing anger. I'll give you a technique that has worked for me. And again, my website, if you need further information on me, I do teach all my Reiki 2 and Reiki 3 students the Metatron's healing methods because I have an additional one called Square that I teach my Reiki 3 students. My Reiki 2 students get the ones that you just saw. So if you want more information, my website is ALICIA, AliciaJones.com. And the book is available through my website and through Amazon. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.